good. Thanks for watching. So I just pushed out a video today in regards to what I concluded from the evidence and just from living about what I know about the Demis and the Republicans. So I'm going to look at someone else's perspective. In many ways, we came up with the same analysis as far as who are the hidden hands. Who are the hidden hands? I call them Azi-Nazis. I call them Anunnaki. This person calls them another name. However, in my video, clearly I'm saying that Joe Biden has a family member who's married to an Azi-Nazi, and Trump has a family member that's married to an Azi-Nazi. I will clearly say this from listening and reading what they're saying. I would say that Trump, as well as Biden, Biden has gotten himself wrapped up, tied up, tangled up in legalities with the Ukrainian Azi-Nazis, and so and a lot of other pedo stuff. So he can't get himself out of the hole. However, because his plight is set. He's taken the Jesuit oath. His plight is set. He knows what he has to do. Now, let's say Trump. With Trump, of course, his daughter's married to Azi-Nazi. And the Azi-Nazi that his daughter is married to is Kushner. And Kushner's father's best friend is Benjamin Netanyahu. Does that make Trump better off as far as staying on the land of the living if he doesn't comply with the Azi-Nazi's wishes? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, when I read this article, because this is off of Rumble, when I read this article, it sort of kind of leans towards everybody saying it's a skit or it's a false flag. In my video, I'm saying it doesn't have to be a false flag because people will remove their own. If you don't obey, they will remove their own. If you don't handle the money a certain way, let's say 9/11. Well, some folks knew, the Azi-Nazis knew before it was going to happen, it was going to happen. Azi-Nazi served Enlil, who is the Elohim, one of the Elohims of this earth, and the Elohim is just a god of this plane of existence that a lot of people worship. And the ones that worship him the most, because they do the most aggravation for him, is the Azi-Nazis. Okay, so when you're not such a large group, you're more. It's like a short van that purchases a large truck, or a Taco Bell. We call Taco Bell dog, where the dog is so little he needs to bark very bad. And then also when you put your land on the parallel line 666 spot on the earth, okay, you want to be the center of the earth. So I do agree with certain things. We agree that it's a certain group of people on the earth who are over the music, who's over television, who's over the Federal Reserve that the governments borrow from, the central banks, or definitely the power pools on the planet. BlackRock, Larry Fink. Now, they didn't say anything about Larry Fink, but I'm going to bring him in because that's what my video was about. So they were talking about Trump trying to revive Biden, but in the wrong spot. And then they got this 6-pointed star on his tie. Both of these guys have children married to, their daughters are married to the Azi-Nazi. However, Biden's being moved out the way because he's not a player that knows how to play it smooth like Obama did, or yeah. And then you have Trump. I would say Inky is trying to spare Trump. Enlil will remove Trump because Enlil is who the Azi-Nazis serve. Okay, Yahweh. So Inky and Enlil, like I said in my last video, they are brothers. I didn't think I would have to come out here and explain this, but once I read this article eating lunch, I realized, oh, I need to talk about how this person's perspective is sort of like mine, but I'm more flexible when it comes to sharing the blame on how the pyramid, the Illuminati system works. Sharing the blame. They don't bring it back to BlackRock. I do, because of that power pool inside of this game. Larry Finks, him being an Aussie Nazi. So, but it all goes back to the land that sits on the parallel line of the latitude longitude line of 666, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm fixing to read it, and let's see. So it says here, Kat and I broadcast yesterday false flag weekly news just a few hours before Donald Trump's ears were apparently struck by a bullet during a rally in Pennsylvania. According to the official story, an apparent lone nut named, he wasn't a lone nut, but anyway, let's continue, named Thomas Matthew Cooks, I did a video about that, go look at it, took several shots at Trump, piercing his ear with one of them and killing one person and wounding another before being shot by the Secret Service. According to BBC interview, a man with a rifle spent several minutes crawling across a roof in plain view of witnesses who kept screaming at the Secret Service and pointing out shooters. Now, I want to say this. I heard Owen say that some of the police officers are actually in that building that the guy was on. This is crazy. But anyway, Elon Musk, among others, is demanding the resignation of the head of Secret Service Detective Kimberly. And of course, she was chosen by Biden during his watch. That's what I'm saying. Coincidentally, our FFW broadcast is just, let me move my mouse over, had just cased the U.S. presidential election as a bad horror movie, describing Biden's regime as a zombie presidency and speculate about how long it would be before the zombie chief or his candidacy kneels over. Let me say this about Biden. When Biden first when he was running for president, I did a video and I was telling people about the numbers that was in front of him and Trump. They were actually, the oligarch could not decide, oligarchs, the Aussie Nazis, the ones that's over the money, could not decide who to invest in more. So initially it was like, are we going to use Trump? Will he comply? Or are we going to use Biden? Because both of them, their daughters are married into the Aussie Nazi family. Well, this last time, because Trump didn't comply good enough she didn't obey as well as they want the last time, they decided to try Biden this time. Now, according to the code I was using, the color code, the number code, and gematria, the story, which at any time can be changed based on whether people believe the projected reality that the media presents through cartoon, through music, through actors. They use all of that to condition your mind to produce for them a world that they want. So they use your energy to do it. They use your imagination to do it. They want you to agree, to touch and agree with them that what the Simpsons say and what other cartoons say that they own, what Disney says, what Pixar says, agree with this, Nickelodeon, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so anyway. Also, coincidentally, we had to note that Israel assets are pulling out of all stops to put Trump back in power, preferably with a big mandate so he can greenlight finishing the job with the Shemites, because they're Shemites as well. But different Shemites serve different Elohim. So these Shemites serve other Anunnaki that's of the family, because Anu gave out lands to all of his family members here on the planet called Earth inside this game, and he gave some to Maduk, some to Enlil, some to Enki, some to was it Tiamat. He just issued out lands and people that they could be gods over. It's so these families, these Anunnaki, these that the Sumerian text talk about, these beings, Geno, our avatars. However, they didn't create our spirit. Just as they are spirit, we are spirit. We all are eternal beings. However, many of them have, through the eons of time, have convinced their smaller brothers and sisters in the flesh to serve them, to worship them. And some of them, sometimes Enlil is nice, and sometimes he's chaotic. Depends on how much power they want in this game. 'Cause this game, they wanted. If they can't get the game the way they want it, they would rather blow up the earth. They would rather divulge the earth with water. They would just rather just destroy so many people in order to get. I'm talking about their Elohim. And then you have other Elohims who are, I'll just get my people to believe in me so I can take them off planet or put them in the cloud so then they can be reincarnated back through the recycling center, which is the satellite moon, and then shoot to Saturn and then shoot back to the earth. That's Catholics call it purgatory. But anyway, but if you already know about that, they can't do you like that. A lot of people don't know that because they write in code in all the books of Tanakh, the Old Testament, the New Testament, even the Muslims' writings. There's so many writings out there that talk about this stuff in code. So this is the key thing I want to say about this. If the Anunnaki, Azi seed for Enlil, who is Yahweh, if he's allowed back in power, even though Trump may very well decide that he wants to serve Enki, he may want to serve Enki. Enki is Jesus, okay, reincarnated. He's Jesus. So Yeshua. So do Trump want to serve Yeshua? Do he want to be in the New Testament or the Old Testament? That's the thing. If he decides to be in the New Testament, he will follow his constituents. He will not listen to Congress. This is the power pool that I'm watching for. This will let the world know whether or not he's been born again with the Christ mind, not with Yeshua's mind or Jesus' mind, but with the Christ mind. And anybody that knows what I'm talking about, the Christ mind is a mind that understands we're in a game. The mind that understands that you cannot be on a low frequency. You cannot be in darkness. You cannot be in hate. You have to do the high thing. You have to do the justice will serve the high thing. Justice is not a low frequency. Justice is a right frequency. You get just what you did when you did what you did. So don't complain when you start reaping what you're sowing. Okay? You know a tree, what they say about the fruit it bears. You will know a tree by the fruit it bears. So, if Trump decides to bow to Enlil, Yahweh, he will then help the Azi finish the job. However, if Trump decides, because inside of him may still be the DNA, because I don't know if he got the pow. Inside of him should be the DNA of Enki. It should be the DNA of Enki, because Enki and his wife was the ones that genoed us through taking the blood and the DNA out of the rib and putting their DNA inside of our vessels. They did that. She did it for the females. He did it for the males, because there were things that were missing in us that we needed in order to be a substantial slave. And then after a while, he did some few more things. He started what do they call it? Insemination, where you don't have to have relations with a woman. You can just inseminate a egg in a woman, and you don't have to have relations with her, like Yeshua, and I think it was John the Baptist's grandma or something like that, where they were born without the help of a man. They call it being born of the Holy Spirit. So when a man's not involved and you inseminate something, it's considered holy, because anyway. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if he sees that, like for 9/11, when the towers came down, the two towers, like in the Masonic Hall. When those two towers came down, the money structure came down, and they rebuilt it with one, which looks like a phallus, which is at the Vatican, which is what, jitter. What is he gonna do? So if he does, now this pastor slash prophet, seer, if he is correct, which I do believe he is correct, that I think Trump knows that his life was spared. He says that his God spared it. But now you got to determine who is his God. Is it Enlil or is it Enki? And if it's Enlil, then he will finish what Biden has started. However, if his God is the other brother, Enki, who is the one that's on the tree, the one that Moses said look up to, on the staff, Marduk Ra, supposed to dealt with Moses, let my people go, the story goes, Marduk Ra was Enki's son, who dealt with the character, which had another name, Moses, which had another name, but anyway, let my people go. If Trump decides to serve Enki, remember, on the tree, he's hanging on the tree, he's in your DNA, which is like the stick with the S around it, the pharmaceutical staff here in America. That's the stick. That's Moses. That means that's trying to explain to you that's how what happened on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil with Adam and Eve. She had another name, but anyway, the serpent on the tree is representing your DNA through pharmaceuticals, through insertions, pow. That's what the pow was for, to change your DNA to maybe the other brother's DNA, add to your DNA, dumb down your DNA, and some folks to the point where poof, they out of here. So we will see how he's going to play this Illuminati game. Now we know Biden, I already said a long time ago, Biden, they have, he has a mini, because he got a lot of pow-pows on live TV. Graphene oxide nano material in his vessel right now. That makes him an antenna, that makes him capable of being handled through a cell phone. Like Hillary was bouncing her head up and down, she has graphene oxide in her, but she may also have a chip. A lot of them have chips. And then a lot of them have people that wear skins that pretend to be them. Or they have high technology already out here where people literally, you can literally be, especially on film, maybe not in real life, you can literally be looking at something that's not human and you think it's human. So I won't go into details on that. But understand, what's on top of this earth is more simpler than what's housed in the quarters inside the grounds of the earth, okay? Caverns of the earth, bunkers of the earth, okay? When they go hiding in their bunkers, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I was thinking about all of this. Everybody's going to do their theory and their speculations because everybody sees there is a conspiracy. So when people say there is no conspiracy, when somebody tell you there's no conspiracy, they think you're a fool. They think you're a child. They think you're dumb. Okay? But if you want to be what they say you are, a useless eaters don't think there's no conspiracies. They're just here. They just want to live here and don't realize you're going to get sent back. You're going to get recycled. You're going to get reincarnated. And maybe this time you won't be in America. Maybe next time you'll be somewhere on a dry continent that's very dry, a very pestilent continent. Exactly. So, and like in the New Testament, where, like I said in the last video, where they thought that when John the Baptist got beheaded, they looked over there at Yeshua, Jesus, was like, okay, who do they say the Son of Man is? They was like, pretty much, he he Elijah coming back. Was it who else they said? Uh, that he was John the Baptist. So they believe in reincarnation, but nobody talks about it. For them to even assert that someone could come back from the dead, not they weren't talking about like Elijah being raised from the dead. His body stinketh. You know, I read a lot of books, and when I hear these stories, of course, penned and edited by men. I can't act a fool like I don't know that. But even though I know it's been penned and edited by man, you know that there are things that make sense to make sense. Okay? I don't have to live by it. I just need to know it. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like this, if he doesn't comply with Inky, I can't say Enlil is someone that wants peace on earth. Cause last time, you know, he was just sick of humans, and the Vulge came. Okay, and then but Inky saved Noah, which was, you know, an Anunnaki, which his name wasn't Noah, but anyway, the point is, and Inky saved Noah because Noah was his son. When in the book of Yasha, when Noah was born, which wasn't his name initially, when he was born, he lit up the room. See? So we are way greater on the inside than we are on the outside with these avatars, with these body scans that we have. But I'm glad I have a body scan, you know. So we shall see. Trump, if he goes straight into foolishness with these people, then that lets you know that either he's afraid of the Aussie Nazis who run the monies, the Fed now, the Federal Reserve, the Central Bank, BlackRock. I would even be scared to say Blackstone, but I know for sure BlackRock, Hollywood, Television, Facebook, you know, Mark Zuckerberg. I hadn't looked into see if I think Bezos is an Aussie Nazi as well. It's so many people. The first feminist was an Aussie Nazi. Ginsburg, later on the Supreme Court, was an Aussie Nazi. So I think to them, they feel that they need to be the demigods of this planet because they've worked so hard on editing books to put in the hearts and minds of men and women and children the what they call it, where they work so hard to propagate a story that been projected through ABC, NBC, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, PBS, BET. They have so many agents, so many agents. It's unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. So if he does continue, as they say, then that means that he's afraid of Enlil. If he doesn't, that means that he's laid his heart down to Inky. And even though Inky and Enlil work together on a lot of things, I think that Enlil has enough say on this plane of existence to say, no, the humans need more time. You know, so there's a lot of seen and unseen help inside of this game. However, the help is if Trump decides to do no more kind of war, then that should awaken the light or the Christ in everyone that want to walk in peace, want the planet to be in peace. You know, they say peace, peace, and safety, but there is none. But if he decides to have love greater than fear, now of course, like Benny, a representative from Mississippi, said, one of his workers said, I'm sure she probably heard him saying it, but I didn't hear him say it. That they tried again. That was stupid of her to say that because don't do that. No one wants anybody to leave the land of the living just over bipolarism. Please stop. Okay, so I know for sure they're done with Biden because Jill's been the president this whole time anyway because she was Lisa Simpson. Remember, if if they decide to cut Biden off, like cut him off, literally cut him off, his avatar off, then they always have Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is married to who, y'all? She's a female married to who, y'all? A Aussie Nazi. Trump's daughter, Ivanka, married to who? A Aussie Nazi. Biden's daughter, I think her name is Ashley. She's married to who? A Aussie Nazi. It's just like King Solomon. When he made these agreements to marry all of these women from all of these different places, and his soul got corrupted. He got corrupted. Why? Because maybe, just maybe, he should stay loyal to who he was loyal to. But he had a different name as well. So, I think I'm going to read a little bit of this and then I'm going to move on from this article. I don't want to make a long video because I'm known for that myself, making long videos. Okay, let's highlight that so y'all can see it. Those are the bare bones facts. Now let's consider the historical content. Remember, this is someone else's train of thought, but I love reading people's train of thought because I want to see why they're thinking what they're thinking. Why are you thinking that? Because I think somewhat what you think, but I come from a different angle. While there may arguably have been a few cases where argued, politicized, loaned up have taken pot shots at presidents or candidates, the vast majority of such shootings have been professional operations involved one faction or another of the deep state. The Kennedys, for example, were removed from power by the Aussie Nazis and an allied hardline faction in the United States U.S. security community. As for unsuccessful attempts, when John Hinckley Jr. shot President Reagan, he did so on the behalf of the Bush crime family. Good. Tell it! 9/11, baby. But they're not talking about 9/11, but I'm telling you that too. As a member of the Reagan administration, knew at the time, according to the insider witness, Barbara Pauline. Okay, so it's brotherhood against brotherhood, and a lot of these books are written by the same bloodline. Okay, so if the Trump shooting was, like most such events, a deep state operation of one kind or another, let's flesh out the implication. Now they say first, could it have been a genuine attempt to kill Trump? That seems highly unlikely, they say. If deep state professionals decide to kill Trump, they would use a plan with a high probability of success, like poison, a plane crash, or a bulletproof shooting plot like those that killed the Kennedys. Deadly Plaza was awash in crossfire from top-level marksmen, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where all that, because YouTube that food. Okay, so for me, when they said it seemed unlikely, first, could there have been a genuine attempt to kill Trump? That seems unlikely. And they said if the deep state professionals decide to kill Trump, they would have a high probability of success, like poison. Look, this is the example that they want to say they should have did this. However, when you watch my video, the one I just did, the reason why they wanted to do it on live television is to cause a civil war. Plane crash. Oh, done with. No one can prove it. That's harder to prove. That won't devastate as many people because the plane could have just had some blah, 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 blah. Like poison. Well, he could have ate something he was allergic to. See what I'm saying? So, no. To affect the most people, to bring as much loose and energy to the low frequency, all the crying and hollering and weeping and gnashing of teeth people would have did, like they worshiping somebody. Lo and behold, that would have been a more satisfying thing for these devilish demons would have wanted to do, because they could have got more from it. I mean, we're not in some Chinese movie where they need to poison somebody. They like to do things grand style, baby, bring down the whole system, like with Kennedy. In plain sight, baby, in plain sight. And then the person that's sitting in the vehicle with him, who married somebody, a wealthy person after he died. She married somebody after he died. Yet for some reason, when he got shot, somehow he got finished off. But for some reason, instead of somebody going to the floor, somebody jumped on the back side of the seat and pulled something from behind the thing, and then pow, 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 and then put it back. Because the guy that's supposed to walk beside him on the back side, the right side of the car, was not there. Saw with my own eyes. They edited that clip so much. But I told my spouse, my husband, I said, look at that. It looked like somebody that's close to him. I ain't gonna say no name. I said in my last video. Did the finishing shot. They edited so well. But I'm an editor, baby. I know. I can see stuff. They edited. And then she just went on a ship with her lover. This how it be. This how it be. So, and many people played many different roles. So the character Kennedy got moved out the way. And lo and behold, there was somebody later on that came along that even actually favored him, but older. It was sort of weird. This guy looked a lot like him that was in Congress. But anyway. So we don't exactly know all the skedaddles inside of these game called life. Okay, so it says here. So I'm saying, I hear what they were saying, but no. It's all for the breaking down of the emotions of the people. That's just what it's about. It's all about hurting people emotionally. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's about grabbing as much loot and energy from people's soul to feed. What is it? Are they gonna feed Leviathan or something? Who they feed? Who they feed? I want to know who is it. Everybody be talking about, these mythical stories of these dragons and all of this. Look, China going through hell and hot water because they serving the dragon. What is the dragon doing for them lately? Nothing but bringing their system down. Nothing but bringing their system down. And they're willing to sacrifice all of these people's livelihood just to be part of depopulating, just like the Georgia Guidestones. People say, oh, the Georgia Guidestones went down. That means we got victory. No, baby, that means they finished with that part. They are sure they're going to do that part. That part going to get done. They are ting, check, mark it off. And boom, lo and behold, soon thereafter. Having someone shot at Trump and miss would have been a surefire way to enhance Trump's chance of winning, while providing life insurance by railing up Trump supporters to the point that another attempt on Trump's life might unleash social unrest. That's why anti-Trump pros wouldn't take the chance. Look. What is it? What do they call it? Where you the guy sued Fox News over the voting machines because Fox News was saying, and everybody knows the machines are played with. Even when Bush was president, Al Gore and Bush was running, the Chads. I remember that so great. Of course, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm a full-grown woman, and I'm looking and saying, wow. Hanging Chad, the Chad. My cousin named her son Chad. It was so glorious, the whole Chad thing. People name their children Chad. But no, I don't think this is going to provide an insurance anything, because it's all based on whose machine is being used to tabulate the votes in what sector of the country. The more the electoral college, I think it's the electoral college, that's actually the ones that actually vote. So anyway, everybody else just theatrical. They just got folks for oh, so obviously the way the shooting played out benefits Trump enormously. So if the spectacle was arranged by pros, they must have been pro-Trump pros. Keep an eye on any Secret Service guy who resigned. Will they enjoy lifestyle way above what would expect a government pension, or will they disappear and live a lifestyle under new identity, with none of us wiser? Gordon Duff, a Marine Corps trained marksman, master gunsmith, and retired CIA troubleshooter, posted following: "Who benefits timing? Miller Trump's rally." Well, the person that go inside the rally, so the rest of Hollywood. See, that what 80 was saying, okay, but anyway. The rest of all Hollywood is fake, just not 9/11, all those Syrian gas attacks, and several of school attacks, but we won't say which ones for obvious reasons. So, me pause for a minute there. I mean, of course, people know Denny's do it all the time. But what I'm saying is this could have been a tactic to try to control him, to say, hey, get back in line. Stop thinking you some savior, some Christ. Stop thinking your constituents love you, which they actually do. Get back in line, soldier. Get back in line. Then you see your first wife down the stairs. You want another to happen? Because I think it was MSNBC said it 2 days before it happened, and I was like, did they just say a Trump is going to leave the earth? Maybe nobody else saw that. So there are threats behind the scene of why people do what they do. But is he going to fear Enlil enough to do Enlil's will? Now look, even though Enlil has a lot of rules and regulations, for some reason, it just seemed like the Anunnaki just have stopped caring about the rules and regulations they've sat inside of commandments and books. They just seem like they don't care anymore. You know, they just seem like they don't care anymore. But the life insurance, no, that's not. And then it says it has to be arranged by pros. Now, remember my last video, I said that Biden's, what's her name, Kimberly, the director, the chick is Jill Biden's friend. So even though they all in sister and brotherhood, the whole point is, no. It could just, if the local police officers would have just stand on their post, not been in the building that the boy was on top of, and the ladder wasn't carried, they're going to say something about the ladder being carried to the facility, to the warehouse. No, the ladder was attached to the warehouse, because that's how the warehouse is made. The ladder's on the actual warehouse, where the police, what I heard Owen saying this morning, that the police actually was in the building. I don't know how they didn't hear him get up there. Everybody hollering and screaming, there he is, there he is, there he is. If this is such a pro job, then why the hell is people pointing at him? Regular old Americans were pointing, so it couldn't have been arranged by pros. Now him going up the thing, that was arranged by pros. However, what I'm saying is it couldn't have been pro-Trump because they could just already had him there sitting somewhere. So nah. Nah. Watch my other video. Timing. The timing was 6:11 when Trump started talking. Well, at least I think it was CNN showing up, CNN, MSNBC. I think it was CNN at the rallies. But I don't know if this person they've seen everything I've seen. It seems like they don't. Maybe they don't understand that the guy was like not even inside of that rally's ground. So anyway. And we know that they staged stuff. big time, big time, big time. However, it's all this sure this gonna have Trump to win. Do y'all not know how many illegals we have in America? What, 18 million? Is there that many blacks that are true American blacks, not people that come from other lands or have brown skin and black skin? Talking about American blacks. So they go on and talk about other things, but that was my conclusion. So a lot of people are like, so the main thing is in the future, it depends on who Trump obeys. Is he going to obey Enlil or is he going to obey Inky? Is he going to allow himself to be completely set apart from jacking up the game? Or is he going to be part of being somebody that actually awakens other people to the game is rigged? That's the option. Because all of them, from Trump to Biden to Kamala to Bush to Clinton to Obama, all of them are brotherhood. All of them are servants. All of them are a certain bloodline. If he would not, and somehow something, then the same naysayers would say, oh, he's not even that anyway. Or they would celebrate. But you got to give him a chance to see whose report he's going to believe. Is he going to believe the report that these Aussie Nazis deserve to make everyone else go make them cattle? Or is he going to see the very supporters he have love him and allow that Christ mind to arise and shine? Everybody has freedom of decision. And I know a lot of people don't believe that people can be locked up, tied up, tangled up in groups, in rituals. You think you can't come up out of that, but you can. Now you may only come out of one to go to another one that's not as diabolical, power hungry. Anu has always been power hungry. Inky has always been. He cares too much, and then get caught up in the lasciviousness of the human flesh. Okay, you know what I'm saying? He does. So, he's not as. I'm talking about too bad. Just read yourself about. Go out. You gotta read more than one book. If you're just staunched on everything's in one book, you're gonna be, as they say, out of the 10 virgins, you're gonna be the one without the oil. You're gonna run out of strength because you're not gonna have enough knowledge to not perish. For lack of knowledge, you perish because you don't know how to restrain yourself from who you need to restrain yourself from. Because you're casting off, restraining yourself from ideas. If something isn't love, if something isn't transparent, if something isn't contenting, then what you messing with it for? A lot of times people literally have to turn their back on what they know is right in order to appease people that say they're special. Everyone's special, as Barney said, everyone in his and her own way. No one on this planet is special, y'all. Not one group is special. Not my group, the GGs, the blacks, the brown skin, the melanated people, supposedly the demigods. None of us are special. The reptoids, the lizards, the Anunnaki, Aussie Nazis. Nobody's special. We all come from someone. The Polanians, nobody's special. The blonde hair, blue eyes, nobody's special. Because everybody's in an avatar. Everybody's in an avatar. All of us are actually the same. We're all energy. We're all life. We all have always existed and always will exist. We're playing a game. And if Trump makes the right decision, and hopefully, and I do believe he saw that your own relatives will take you out if you don't obey them. May he not fear death more than just being a light. May he choose being a light over worrying about them dimming his light. If he can't, because let me tell you something. Everybody don't know everything about someone else's decision. His God can tell him, hey, I saved you. And then he can say, I'll go, if I have to go by myself, I'll obey. And then some people who get saved, they go right back to their muck and mire. And somebody said, no, God told me this, that, and the other. Your God can only tell you so much about somebody else's life. Because the story isn't finished. And remember, these gods are Elohim. These gods are humanoids. See? And they're eternal just like we are. See? And no one can tell the total story about someone else's plight. No one. No one. In the game and outside the game. So when you ask people, oh, well, tell me about what's going to happen in the future. Let's say you go that route. They only can tell you so much because they don't know. Because everybody's in their own reality. And if we pull our realities together on certain things, yes, we can manifest certain things. It seems like Donald is receiving the opportunity to be a Christ. Meaning to instead of going into chaos, bringing more war on earth, he listens to his constituents and don't do it. And I would advise Christians not to go to war, even if it's for the United States of America. Don't go fight in war, because that's only fighting for Enlil. It's only fighting for Enlil. And I know someone saying, he said, pick up the sword. Well, if you live by the sword, you're gonna perish by the sword. So what we Americans have to do, and all the Christians and atheists and everybody else, Muslims and everybody else, what we have to do is we have to come into agreement that the world can be a better place. And we don't all have to agree on everything for the world to be a better place. We don't all have to have the same money for the world to become a better place. We don't have to believe the same way for the world to become a better place. But if we can see the world as a better place with diversity of thought, with diversity of reality, we'll be okay. But too many of us are trying to propagate a world blowing up, an apocalyptic world, a world ending when the world never ends, people. If you don't wake up to the fact that we're in a game called life, and there are people that's trying to control the game through narratives, even some of the players in the game feel stuck that they got to keep playing these roles. I wish above all things that this character Trump would see himself above the storyline and rise above and truly be a light so that people can see love instead of hate. I'm not saying that justice, he don't need to do justice, because people don't get just what they do. See. All right, let's strike the bell. Thanks for watching.